Hey everyone, welcome to episode 49 of the Pickleball Effect podcast. I'm Braydon.
And I'm Kyle.
We got a few things on the agenda today. We just talk about our weeks. Kyle's Corner. You got a bunch of notes in Kyle's Corner this week. And then I got a few in Paddle Babble. Looks like you got some as well. So we'll jump straight into that, starting with the title sponsor of No Apologies Nutrition.
Picked Performance Plus. You got an electrolyte, some caffeine, some pickle science. It will help with cramping, give you some energy, give you a little bit of focus. I've been implementing this in all my morning pickleball games, and it's been working great. I like that it's not a ton of caffeine, so you're not getting jittery and stuff like a Ghost or a Bang.
Yeah.
So
I finished my first bag this week.
You finished the bag totally?
Yeah, I'm on bag number 2.
I was actually going to ask, so they have told us that every episode some bags have been bought. So you guys that have bought a bag, I would love to see in the comments what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. That'd be great feedback. But yeah, go check them out if you haven't. No Apologies Nutrition. They just had this one product for now called Picked Plus Performance. They're coming out with a no caffeine one eventually.
Yeah, no stimulant. So.
But I'm a fan of the caffeine. So. And then here we are, dude. Another week, episode 49. We had talked about doing a giveaway for episode 50. I had an idea for it. I want to run by you.
The 50 paddles?
For the 50 paddles. I was going to only do one paddle, but I was going to do one of the like original Alpha Series YOLAs, because those are like semi-rare, right?
Yeah, people are selling them for like $300-400.
Oh, serious? I haven't seen that.
Oh, I was like laughing. I was like, me and Braydon cut open like 5 of those.
I know. But I got a few of them from that YOLA event forever ago, and I still have them in my closet. I was like, that'd be a fun one. Like little something you can't get anywhere.
So you give them an Alpha with some tape and some grips.
There we go. Alpha tape and grips. I think that's going to be the giveaway next week. So you're on board with that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Signed by me, not you.
Signed by Kyle. How was your week, man?
It was good. We did the photo shoot with you. Ended up, I tried to set up a foursome for Saturday. I couldn't get anybody. And then they're like, the club championship's going on. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Did you play in it?
Yeah, because it was at 8 a.m. So I was like, I can play before work.
I didn't know you played in it. I kind of found out about that
like last minute.
Yeah. So the Flying Pickle was putting on like this big, well, I think they wanted to be like this big like club championship tournament.
Members only.
But I don't know if it wasn't marketed well. I didn't hear about it until like last minute.
Yeah, I heard about it last minute. And nobody signed up. Like I got 4-5 and 5-0 for doubles. I guess I had nobody.
It was pretty low.
Yeah. So I put.
But what'd you sign up for then?
I signed up for 4-0 because it was stacked. I like looked at the roster. I'm like, oh man, I'm sandbagging. And then I looked at the roster like, oh, I'm not sandbagging at all. Like all these guys are trying to win.
Who did you play with? You found somebody?
I played with Haskins like last minute.
How'd you do?
We lost in the semis.
Okay, you got pretty deep. What was the format?
Single elimination.
Just straight single.
Just straight single elimination.
Best 2 out of 3?
Yes.
Okay. At least it was that.
Yeah.
So how many did you have to win to get to the semis?
Well, we only had to win 1 because we were seeded number 1.
Oh, you were the number 1 seed? What's Haskins do? You're like just under 4-5.
His
right?
Duper's hired mine.
No, just under. What are you?
What am I now? Like 4-3 or something.
4-3. Oh, so you technically like qualified.
Oh, no, exactly. Like,
okay.
Like skill wise, I'm probably sandbagging. Like Duper wise, I'm not sandbagging at all. So, and Haskins is like right under 4-5. So.
But it had you guys were probably favorites.
Well, they had tons of like Matt Asaro and Zag Zent, and like there was tons of good players.
Yeah, there's people you play with normally, though.
Yeah, and that's why like I looked at the list, so I'm like, we can play that and like not feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah, but made to the semis, was it close?
The semi, no, we got beat pretty good. They played really well. Got beat by a Shogun.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you sell them the
Shogun? I mean, I influenced it.
You're like, dang it, I'm too good at my job.
I showed him that his paddle was core crushed, and then he ended up buying a Shogun.
That's a good one. You're still rocking the Shogun?
I actually played with the Olympus.
Oh, you did? You didn't Shogun?
I didn't even use my main, which everybody's like, you're just doing that so you have an excuse if you don't win. I was like, maybe.
Okay, the Olympus. How did it play? What did you think?
Oh, it played great. I taped it up at 4 and 8 and played solid. I got a slice coming in for it, so I'm curious to see how it plays once I have a slice on it. I think it'll feel more like my Shogun, just because I'm used to all that weight now.
Right.
But no, it played good. It's really good at the net. Counters are crazy good. Drives are good. It's not like full Gen 3 power, but it's got some juice.
This is their new one. Can you buy it? I don't think you can buy it.
The ambassadors can.
Okay.
And they've sold out So they can only make, we can talk about this later, but they can only make 4. Like one worker can only make 4 paddles in a day.
Sheesh.
So they've been selling out like the second they open it to the ambassadors.
Volume's not
up
yet.
Not there.
Well, cool. Semi appearance. Did it go to 3 at least?
No.
No, they beat you in 2.
They beat us in 2.
Dang it.
Yeah, they beat us pretty. They played really good.
Yeah.
We didn't. That's the funny thing. Like, I feel like me and Haskins are both good, like pretty good, but we don't play very well together, like ever.
Yeah, that happens.
But I still like playing with them. So.
Yeah, I thought about signing up for the club thing, and I was like, nah, I don't know, because like no one had signed up for the 4 or 5
nobody.
groups.
Yeah, nobody did.
But I was there testing paddles while they were doing it. Saw some. I think it was the 3-5 one going on while I was watching that.
That's always the biggest. 3-5 is always the biggest division in anything.
A lot of the tournaments of the Flying Pickle have been like pretty filled in. I wonder if it's just because there was no money involved in this one. All the other ones had money involved.
Yeah, it was free to enter, and no money involved. Exactly.
And maybe everyone's just used to money being on the line. It's like, what? No money? I'm not going.
Yeah.
Even though like one team walks away with the money, like it's not even. But they've done a bunch of those $1,000 money balls.
Yeah, those all pack. Those all get packed.
Those all get packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the money ball brings in the people. I still think we need to do more money ball types. That doesn't have to be that big. Just something.
They did one
like a weekly basis.
Joe does one every Sunday now.
Is it always money?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was doing money.
It's always money.
I thought he like changed it up, but it just did money every once in a while.
So he does challenge court for money, and then the next week he'll do bring your own partner, like partnered money. So last night was partners. And
you were going to do that, but ended up.
Yeah, my son's sick and the smoke and stuff, so I bailed.
Yeah.
So Kirk had to get a much worse partner. He played with Daryl.
Did they win it?
No.
Oh, really?
No, Colin and Nick won it.
Oh, okay. That's a good team.
Yeah.
So I played Saturday. I played a lot this week, and I play a lot during the day now just because I can, and it allows me to hang out with the fam later in the evening. And so I don't play weekends as much, but I played Saturday morning, and usually it's just like a 2-hour deal, right? So that's just kind of what I assumed. So we played outdoors at some courts near here, and there's 8 of us. We were just gonna do like a little round robin thing, and the guy that had set it up was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a round robin. Everybody plays each other once, and then we're gonna do like a little playoff tournament at the end." I'm like, "That's gonna be longer than 2 hours."
Oh yeah.
So like you have to play 7 games, and then the playoff thing. So I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So we're playing, and we just finished the round robin. I go look at I'm like, do I go look at my phone? I bet it's been longer than 2 hours. I know my wife's not going to be happy about this.
Oh, no.
I was like, I'll go look. Everyone's like, no, don't look. They're like, what's like if your wife's already mad, she can't get any madder. I'm like, that's false.
That is super.
There are levels.
Yeah.
Like once you're in the doghouse, you get more in the doghouse. Whereas I go look at my phone, I pull it up, and my wife was calling me like at that very moment. And it's been 3 hours. And so I answered. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm still here. She's like, where are you? It's been 3 hours. I was like, I know. And then I was like, I got one more game. We're starting the playoffs now. She's like, fine. And then anyways, so I get home, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. And then just silent treatment for like half the day, dude. It was not a good day for Braydon.
Oh man,
you ever gotten in trouble?
Tons of times.
Too much?
Tons of times. Like,
how does Gabby react?
Well, it just go. Well, I'll look at my phone and be like 6 missed calls, and I'm like, oh. Like sometimes I think that our wives think like we have our phone, like because I'm on my phone a lot, but like my phone's not in my pocket when I'm playing.
Right.
Like even though I do typically have my phone is not in my pocket.
Yeah, and I always put it on silent too.
So I don't check it until either after a game or after we've been done for the day. So I've had like 6 missed calls. I'm like, ooh, I'm
happened again.
Let's go get ice cream on the way home.
A bag of flowers, ice cream. Yeah, I've been doing good. I haven't gotten in trouble in a while. This is the first time where she was like not happy with me. But I get it though. We're gonna go to Eastern Oregon this week, and so she was trying to pack and
got a lot of stuff.
Got 3 kids and baby. It's not easy. And then I was gone for 3 hours in the morning. Anyways, that happened. So if you guys have any stories of getting in the doghouse, getting in trouble for playing too much, let us know what your experiences were.
Let us know your one last game. So
I'm sure we're not the only ones.
Actually, if we have any female viewers, I want to hear like, is there like husbands? That get mad too?
Yeah. There's got to be. It's got to be both ways, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if my wife was playing pickleball. I'd just be like, stay alone time. I like to be alone though. So
now, well, yeah, I kind of I feel bad for my wife a bit because I had pickleball where I'll go during the day, right? Even though it's like work hours for me.
Yeah.
It's still 2 hours like out of the house talking to people. She doesn't get that as much. And like she'll go work out in the mornings. That's kind of her thing. She gets her hour and a half of her alone time. But I get more kind of like social time and out, and like it's tough. Like my wife's got a tough job.
Being a mom's no joke.
It's so hard. And like whenever I'm with the kids like all day for like on weekends, like I love hanging out with them in the mornings. But when I'm with them all day, like I'm
exhausted.
So like frustrated at them by the end of the day. Like so much whining and crying, and like just so many highs and lows as you go through the day. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's emotionally exhausting, and I don't know how she does it.
They are a godsend.
Yeah, I used to think it's like, oh man, someday I think we should switch. I'll be a stay-at-home dad. You go to work. I don't think I could do it.
I can do it once they're in school.
She's shout out to Mia. She's amazing. Even though she gave this silent treatment, still love her. So some other cool stuff that happened. So PPA Kansas City. I turned on championship Sunday. Kate Fahey, she was in the singles championship, came through the qualies, and then Connor Garnett was in the finals for singles. Both use my tungsten tape.
Main stage tungsten tape.
Wasn't that sweet, dude? Yeah. Like how bizarre.
That's cool.
That this dinky little dude from Idaho made something that like
that's why they made it.
Best players in the world are using on the stage.
Why they made it Championship Sunday. So if you're a pro looking to make it, you need his tape.
Yeah, let me know. I'll get you some tape. Anyways, that was less like this like really cool moment. I was like, what? Like these, like you could see it on their paddle.
Yeah, like my products on ESPN.
Yeah, like they were zooming it, like when on their highlights, I would like go check. I was like, is it actually on there? And it's on there. Yeah. Like you can see the tungsten on there. It's like, I sent that to him. It's got to be mine.
That's awesome.
Anyways, that was like super cool. And I just got a new shipment in. It was another shipment of 5,000 units. So that's on its way to Amazon. This new shipment has like a plastic ring that has the tungsten wrapped around it. So that holds its shape better. Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
So we just keep making it better with each new batch. Just hired an Amazon agency that's going to start managing ads and optimizing things. And
have you thought about branding it yet? Like, can you put a design on it?
You can, but I like that it's blank.
Okay.
I think it looks good.
You don't want your logo plastered on everybody's?
Nah, as a player, I don't like it when brands plaster their logo on everything, so I'm avoiding that.
Okay.
But the logo's on the packaging, and the packaging's such now that you keep the packaging in your bag, and so it's there. But the 1 gram and half gram, everything's in stock. And the agency is kicking butt now. The edge, so I had the edge tape. The agency optimized like the title for that, and it started moving more.
Oh, nice.
So if you know how to play the Amazon game, it helps. It's definitely a game. Okay, last note I had here before we jump into Kyle's corner. This was just like something I kind of learned this week that improved my game. If you have any stuff you're working on, well, you can chime in here too. But I've mentioned a few times that I've always struggled covering the middle with my forehand. And I watched this video on Instagram, just kind of randomly came up. It was Dane Gingrich giving Mr. Pickleball Pigeon a little lesson on covering the middle.
Okay.
And when I watched him, I was like, that's what I look like. I'm trying to cover the middle. I miss ball. I'm around the edge. And Dane's like, the tip he gave Pickleball Pigeon is the one that I've been implementing. Is he says step first, plant, then swing. So if I'm on the left side and I'm anticipating a speed up, take a big step with your right. Don't swing and step, which is what I had been doing. Just kind of doing everything in one motion, which makes it more in motion, more difficult a movement is to control. So I've been just intentionally stepping, planting, swinging, and I'm covering the middle a lot better. I'm getting a lot more balls, much more solid contact, getting it down easier. I'm not perfect at it yet, but it's definitely an improvement just of making that one switch. And I need to go drill it a little bit more, but that's my tip for the week: to cover middle, step, plant, then swing with that forehand. Any stuff you're working on or picked up recently?
I've just been trying to be a little more aggressive from the left side. I'm pretty good at crunching the middle, and I'll get way over there because if you're the right side guy, I'm like, you cover that line. Let's apply pressure to that guy in that triangle and just hammer him. So, I mean, I've been working on just getting more aggressive.
More aggressive with like your positioning or just speeding it up more often?
Even my positioning too. Just like both of us being right there.
Yeah.
Because I used to have a problem losing balls in the middle where wouldn't want to get so close to you because I feel like I'm invading your space. But I'm like, no, you cover that line. I'm getting over there and we're going to create some chaos.
Nice. And it's been working?
So, yeah. Yeah, it was when I posted. I don't know if you saw my story, but like I posted that video. It was the quarterfinals and it was like the match winning point. And somebody commented and they were like, you move like an angry grizzly bear.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. That's a compliment.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
Justin in the Discord was like, I don't know if I want any of that in a podcast battle. So.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Don't be afraid to be aggressive with positioning. But with this like step that I'm focusing on, I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm backing off a little bit.
Okay.
Because I can cover a lot of ground with that step. So when I'm anticipating a speed up, it's like using my length to my advantage. Like I'll take a step and I can cover a lot of ground that way without being like standing there. Yep. That way I can still watch that if they have like an aggressive cross court dink. Because I think with people who have an aggressive cross court dink, you can't be as aggressive with your positioning. But there's a lot of people who don't have that.
Yeah.
And in that scenario,
exploit it. Yeah.
Squeezing and pressuring with your positioning is, you should totally do that.
Yeah. Like I would never do that to like Mariana because I get burned. She could backhand roll and just break my ankles.
Yeah. It just depends if they have that shot.
Yeah.
So like people who have an aggressive roll, like dink, that's cross court, that's, low penetrating and a good speed up down the middle off that backhand, they're tough to defend against because you have to respect that. Yeah. That cross court dink.
Yeah. That what used to be called a low percentage shot isn't a low percentage shot anymore.
No, people hit that all the time. You see it all the time.
But a few years ago, that was a low percentage shot.
Yeah, it used to be just straight. Everybody just sliced everything, right?
Yeah. Only person still slice dinking is Loong, and I think Scarpa does too.
Scarpa slices a lot.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Kyle's Corner.
Man, there's a lot of stuff going on this week. Sponsorship wise, John Isner got signed by Selkirk, so another massive tennis personality getting signed.
Is he going to start competing?
I would assume, because they just signed him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you saw him play with Wyatt Stone. Was that last year? It was the funniest thing.
Why was it so funny?
Because Wyatt's little, and it just looks like this giant of a man next to this like little bitty kid. But yeah, so it'd be interesting. We're getting more big tennis personalities coming to pickleball. See this shake it up.
I saw some meme. It was on memes of pickleball of Ben Johns beating Isner left-handed.
Oh yeah.
What was that from?
I think that was like an exhibition because they said they were playing to 7.
Okay, so that was like a long time ago.
Yeah,
that's not recent.
I think that was some kind of exhibition. But Ben Johns is good left-handed.
He's really good left-handed.
So yeah, that's funny. MLP had a bunch of trades. I don't know if you saw that.
Just from your notes here.
Yeah. So Susanna got traded to the Bouncers.
Okay.
And then the Bouncers traded Jeannie, who they had, for Emily Ackerman Cedarquist.
Yep.
So basically old Slice team back together. That's pretty cool. Which that's cool because I thought originally that's what should have went down at the Bears anyways. They should have kept Emily when they picked up Susanna because they already had the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Scarpa got traded for Blaine. This was kind of some drama. So Blaine played on the Mad Drops, but he was like a substitute.
Okay.
Like he wasn't like the.
But they traded him. Either he was a sub.
Correct.
What?
So Scarpa Scarpa got traded for Blaine plus cash, and then they dropped Scarpa the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. No, and that was like, was he even eligible to be traded?
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, it didn't make sense. MLP's all over the place, and I think they really need to iron out like
the rules.
Exactly. Like there needs to be like a rule book that we should all be able to see too. I think because like it's just wild. It's like the Wild West. Like there's like trades and money and like it was.
Do you think they do these trades just to try to make it feel like something's happening?
Maybe like just so it's news.
Yeah,
it could be. There was a few more trades. Mo, so the guy that was like see the whole time at MLP, he got traded for Rafa.
I think I'd take Rafa.
So I think I would too. But that was kind of what went on with MLP this week. All right, back to what we talked about last week. Did you watch the bronze medal match for men's?
No, but I saw comments online of like the Johns being disinterested again.
It was terrible.
What
So
was it?
the last game, well, also PBA's scoreboard was wrong the whole time. So like the score, like they had like the scores flipped for all 3 games.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
So it looked like they were dominating.
yeah, it looked like it did. It looked like they were dominating. But in the last game, they're down like, I can't even remember. I think it was like 9-4. And you can tell that the Johns just like basically throw the game. Like Colin hits the most ridiculous speed up out. There was like no way it was going in. Then they lob the third and the fifth, just like
What?
yeah. They lob the third and the fifth, get crushed. Then they get the ball back, serve it out, like with the next shot, and then return of serve for the game-winning point, match-winning point. He just blasts it out. Like it was like obvious that they weren't trying.
What in the world?
Yeah, it was bad.
Even after they get blasted for not trying, like from MLP, they have the gall to come out and do it again.
Yeah.
Like even it sounds like even worse.
It was bad. Like
what do you take?
There's no way they can argue that they like everybody has a bad day. That was not a bad, like you could tell they were disinterested and just trying to end the game at that point, which infuriated me.
Fine them.
So, but I guess they have to play because everybody was withdrawing from bronze medal matches previously. And I guess you actually have to.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of bronze medal matches were never happening because basically once people were out of championships.
Why don't people care?
I don't know.
Do they make, I don't know this. Maybe you know the answer. Are players making more money from appearance fees than they are medaling?
I have no clue. I don't know what the appearance fees are.
I wonder if they're doing that. Well, like in the Johns case, they have the end of year tournament, whatever, where you have to qualify.
Yeah, it's all points based.
They're already qualified.
Yeah, 100%.
And so there's no incentive, but like there's got to be some pride, right?
You would think.
That's crazy to me.
So there's a lot of talk about Colin getting dropped again and who Ben would pick up, and
so they lost in the semis to Tardio and Fed, who were looking good and ended up winning.
They ended up winning.
They beat the.
Did you see Gabe on the sideline during his timeout?
Eating pizza. Yeah. Remember we had that. We've talked about nutrition before. Yeah. Now, like we need to pay attention to it.
So you got
pizza.
You got Susanna with a Rice Krispie treats. You got Gabe just eating cheese pizza.
Maybe
you got Anna Lee pounding Coca-Cola.
Maybe there's less to it than we think.
Oh, it's so good. And then let's see, paddle wise, did you see the 3S's? So
yeah.
YOLA's got
thoughts on this.
So YOLA's got their Gen 3s again.
The Mod TA 15s.
Yeah, but now they have the 3S's. So it's the actual shapes, I'm assuming, of the same build as the mod. But they don't have USAP stamps. They only have UPA-A stamps on them.
Yeah, so if you haven't been following this news, so YOLA drops the Mod TAs. They're USAP approved. You can go purchase them.
One shape, just
one
the
shape,
purchase.
just the purchase in the 14, the 16. So everyone's excited about those who like the Gen 3s. They get them back. Then Kansas City rolls around, and then some of the pros were using a new YOLA model called the 3S. Now, like Fed was using the TAs, some were using the 3S, but we were like, okay, where's this 3S coming from? It hasn't been approved by USAP. Turns out it's not approved by USAP. It's only been approved by UPA-A, right?
Yep.
What do you think of that?
So there's an announcement. Well, one, I think it's hilarious because the UPA is like, we're going to fix all this paddle stuff. We're going to curb power, blah, blah, blah. So the first paddle that they approve is the paddle that caused the most drama.
Yeah. And we don't know how it's made, right? Like,
no.
We don't know if it's faster or slower. Presumably it's faster if they're using it.
I bet you it's the same. I bet you it's the same paddle.
As the TA?
As the original Gen 3.
Oh,
I would bet. We'll have to get one and cut it open.
Yeah, we need to cut open one of the TA 15s too, and just kind of compare it.
Somebody said it has a little less. Somebody already did it. They said it has
rumor.
A little less foam.
Oh, somebody did cut it up?
Yeah, I don't know if that was just somebody saying they did because I haven't seen a picture.
Yeah, I want to see a picture.
I only got sent one. I don't know if I want to cut my one. How many did they send you?
They're in the mail right now.
Okay. I got mine in the mail this week.
If we have a duplicate, we'll just cut the duplicate.
Yeah, I got the 16.
Okay.
So there's a big announcement coming in September from UPA-A. seeing these 3S's, I am willing to bet it is going to be their certification. Maybe they're going to start dropping a list. So I think we're going to see this governing body war really kick off, because if you're gonna have paddles that aren't USAP approved but they're UPA-A approved.
This is where it starts.
Yep, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Dude, this is such a nightmare. You have like we have the 2 governing bodies with paddles, and then you have like the quiet categories, like this new Diadem Hush, which just hits bombs and spins like crazy. Like, this is very confusing for like the consumer of like, okay, what do I need to buy if I want to use it in tournaments? What's legal? What's not legal? It's a crap show.
Hold on, then even like rec play, like what do you deem okay? And like, because I could go out there and you could hurt somebody with the Hush. You
could.
I mean, I know it's a quiet paddle, but like, you could go out there and hurt some people.
I don't think the Hush should be used. Like it hits it so hard.
I mean, I love it, but I'm just thinking, like, if I took that to the park and just started ripping balls at people, 1, it's so quiet, and 2, it's like it's coming.
It's so fast, and the spin is really.
Now
really
put that in the hands of like one of those 3-5 that just like swing from the hip, and they're hitting people in the face left and right.
Totally. So that is. That's like a health risk right there.
Yeah, so I don't like our parks going, like, I wonder if like local parks are gonna have to set rules, like must be USA approved battles, or like, because if you get hurt, I don't know how that would work. I'm not a lawyer, so, but like if you get hurt at the park with somebody using a paddle,
does the city get in trouble?
I don't know. Like, or is it just play at your own risk? Maybe
probably a play at your own risk, I would think. But like parks and stuff, like I take my kids to parks all the time, and kids break arms and things there. There's no way the city's getting in trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
But they always have like a, like a warning
disclaimer
thing. Maybe I'll have to start adding that to pickleball courts. But you're right. But yeah, it makes it so confusing, and it's just going to get worse. Like YOLO's going to be the first approved. I bet Proton's.
Oh yeah,
soon after.
I think anybody that's
like flirting.
I was going to say that you've seen in bed ish with UPA-A, PPA.
Yeah, embedded and is like. Has flirting technology, right?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't feel like the spin production of like the protons is illegal amount, but just the way they make it is questionable, right? Like the friction test is questionable, and so they're in with like they only sell at Pickleball Central. Pickleball Central's a PPA owned entity, and so
and Pickleball Central's working on more deals like that.
They're doing more exclusivity deals. Where are you seeing this? I haven't seen any of these.
No, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
I can talk about it offline. I can talk about it offline. Let's just say they're working on more exclusive deals for Pickleball Central.
Crazy.
We'll see if they happen. I don't like those. I don't like exclusive avenues. I like people to have choices, but
yeah, I mean, obviously you see why Pickleball Central would want to do that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's very, very cutthroat. It's a lot of tennis, most of it's done through dealers. There's not a lot of direct to consumer sales, whereas pickleball is like heavily direct to consumer. Like most purchases are bought from the company's website versus like a pickleball.
Yeah, which is wild. Like almost every other industry, you don't go to the like the brand and buy your product.
Yeah, and then Pickleball Central kind of owns the retail space. So I have codes with Pickleball Central and Frometh. Used to be just Frometh for a while, and it did decent. Like I get a few sales here and there. But as soon as I decided to do the Pickleball Central thing along line, I advertise them the same.
They're both, yeah.
And Pickleball Central gets a lot more action, and
it's a well-known name.
Just well-known.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They have a good return policy. Yeah. I'm not hating on them. I just think they're like the giant, and they're just trying to become more the giant.
They definitely kind of own that space. Yeah. Why is it that we're like this fight the giant attitude? I've always had that a little bit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I don't know. You're like, no, Walmart. It's like Walmart. It's like the Walmart of.
Yeah, it is. But I go to Walmart every day, so I guess we can't help it.
All right, last topic. I'll skirt around names and brands and stuff with this one because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Oh my god.
How do you feel about standardization of affiliate codes percentages? So like reviewers, like should that be standardized and transparent, or should you be able to negotiate whatever rate you want from whatever brand?
I think that it should be transparent. Like I'm okay with that. Like I don't care if you know what the commission is. There's whether you want to or not, there's no way you can regulate it. But I guess for theory, I think it would be good if they were all the same, because then it adds more, I don't know what you call it, more not unbiased opinions for the paddles. So like, yeah, it makes sense to me theoretically why you would want the same commission across the board. It's never going to happen. Transparency of what commissions are. Yeah, sure. I don't care. Like I don't negotiate. I just take what they give me. And all I ask from brands is that it's the same across the board. I've had experiences where brands are giving higher commissions to other people than me because I didn't push for it.
Got it.
And I think those issues have kind of ironed out now that that's kind of brands are like aware that reviewers talk to each other.
Like, dang, these guys are friends.
We're like friends. And so for the most part, from what I've seen, I'll ask brands sometimes now, I was like, are you giving the same commission to everyone? Because I just want it to be fair for that way. But yeah, there are brands that give higher commission. It usually ranges between like 10 and I have one that's 25. So like Honolulu Pickleball is 25%. I didn't negotiate or ask for that. That's just what they do. They so like it's higher. Most of them around 10 or 15.
Most of them around 10 or 15. Yeah, that's the standard.
And I've mentioned this in the past, but like for me, like I just ignore that. Like I'm very focused on like what's the best paddle, what's the best value, consumers number one. Because if the people we're talking to aren't the number one, like the person you're making this for, then it just doesn't work, right? And you can see through that. Anyways, sorry, I went off.
No, it's good. That was good. I'm kind of in line with you. I only have one difference of opinion. Okay. I don't care that like your commission, I actually don't care that much about. If you are more valuable than me, whatever, your commission's higher. I think discount wise, that 100% needs to be the same.
That is always the same, isn't it?
No.
What?
There are brands where different people have different percentages off. To me, that creates super unfair playing field.
I agree.
So there's a reviewer that has a certain brand that had 20% off, where like mine's 10% off. Even if the person likes me, of course you're going to use the 20% off code.
Yeah.
So like to me, that creates a super unfair playing field.
Yeah, that's
so
stupid.
Like commissions, whatever. Like I understand, like certain people are way more valuable than other people. So like you want them to push
that should not change what your percent off is.
Your discount codes though should all be the same amount.
Yeah, that's BS. I don't like that.
Yeah, then there's a few brands that have that. So that I don't like. And then I'll do last note because I've been skating around. Don't send people's personal emails out.
Oh. Yeah. Conversations are never private.
No. Also be careful what you put in email.
Yeah, be professional, be kind.
Especially if it's written. So I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it tactfully.
All right, we'll go to Paddle, Babble, and Gear, brought to you by Kitchen Pickleball Bags.
The best bag in pickleball. Did you see the new color? The new color is insane.
Yeah, the gray and orange.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous.
No, that's really dope.
Anybody want to buy a bread and butter bag and
go get that one? Yeah, that one's really cool. Grub had sent me pictures of that like months ago, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that looks good. I was like, dang.
Nice, Grub.
Dang.
I'm just gonna highlight one feature. That's these guys. Like you can fit bigger water bottles, like
huge.
40 ounce.
Yeah, you can fit big ones in there.
Yeah, like I love that you can fit bigger. Like for some reason, so many bags, you just can't fit a decent size. Like you always put it in the main pocket.
Yeah,
you always put your water bottle in the main pocket.
Usually you can fit like the little one that goes on your bike.
Yeah, little tiny ones. That's it. So this fits bigger bags, and then when it's not in use, just snaps closed with some magnets, and it looks really good.
Love magnets.
Anyways, yeah, that's just one of the many features that are dope about this bag. If you haven't heard or seen these guys, go follow them on Instagram. It's good follow. Good follow. Grub's pretty funny with all of their like
their content's good.
Their content's good, and he like put these things through the ringer. But yeah,
Dude, that was my favorite video, like the stress test.
Yeah.
They're like put it on the fence and like jumping on it. I'm like, oh, this is
yeah,
amazing.
these things are great. They did a really good job. Go look them up. Kitchen pickleball bags. I'll put a linking code in the description. All right, paddles. Well, I guess before we jump into paddles in here, I've had this bullet point on here for the last couple of weeks. I just haven't brought it up.
You just keep skipping it.
I'm gonna bring it up now. So when we were at MLP, Riley Newman was playing with a Paddletek. It was, I believe it was the 14.3 Alshon paddle.
Yep. I took a photo of it.
Took a photo of it? Yeah. Okay. So he was playing with the Paddletek. He signed with ProXR. We're like, why is he playing a Paddletek? I'm pretty sure he's getting like a signature paddle with ProXR. What's he doing? And he's never been shy for switching paddle companies. So like, oh, maybe he switched. Anyways, we talked to some people, got more information. So the company that owns ProXR also owns Paddletek. They kind of gave Riley like a special deal where they were allowing him to play the Paddletek because he wanted to play with it. He wanted the extra power and pop. Yep. And so they normally don't let their sponsor players like swap between the brands they own. Riley's Riley. They gave him an exception. So he was playing with the Paddletek. I don't know if he's still playing with it. Probably is. But I guess he wants his signature paddle from ProXR
to be that paddle.
Be that paddle or something very similar. And so that's why he was playing with the Paddletek and was allowed. And we can expect, I think, some sort of
ProXR coming out.
ProXR coming out. Like could be very Paddletek.
Nice.
Anyways, okay, got that bullet point out of the way.
We can finally delete. It's been there for like 4 weeks.
Checking it off right now. Okay. Next thing. So I'm working on the reload review right now. I'm gonna pull this one out.
The reload.
So we've talked about this a couple times, but I'm gonna talk about it again because I don't know why more people aren't like freaking out about this technology because it is super legit.
Well, I mean, everybody I show, they're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. It like makes so much sense, right?
So I think these demo days that they're doing are great. Like I think people have to actually see it to be like, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen it yet, this is replaceable grit. So you can buy these tabs or these like stickers and replace, once a quarter, whenever you want fresh grit. Like grit is the thing that wears out first. It typically goes out before the paddle, the power, the pop, right? And so I think they're solving a problem that other brands have just been ignoring. And like, there's been so much innovation around power and things, but these guys I feel like are really going after a problem that's needs to be solved. And they've been working on it for a long time.
Yep.
And like they recognize it as a big issue early on. And so anyways, I think they deserve more attention than people give them because I think this technology is going to change things. Like if every brand isn't doing something like this in the next year or two,
they're going to be left behind.
They're going to be left behind.
Yeah. Well, can they do something though? This is patented, right?
This is patented. Yeah. Either go get a license deal with these guys or go come up with something that's
not only is it cool though, the paddle plays good. I mean, we played last week.
Yeah, that was the big question for us, right? Like, okay, the technology is good. Does the paddle play decent? And so the paddle plays decent. Yeah. It's like your typical thermo. Like when you look at the specs, there's nothing that like it plays like the specs say. Yeah. But it's elongated, 5.5-inch handle. It's a little higher on the swing weight, like 122. Do the counterbalancing, feels fine, plays well. It's a little softer for a thermo.
Yep.
But otherwise plays really well. Like the sweet spot is, average for an elongated. It's good. I wouldn't not buy this paddle because of the paddle, right?
So I mean, I feel like where they started, like they can only go up. Like I feel like they came out with a good paddle. They can only get better.
Yep. Yeah. That's the one thing that's kind of the big drawback right now. Like they only have this one shape. Like if this isn't your style, then you just have to kind of keep following.
And you did point out it is a little soft, but I love that. Like I like soft thermal.
Yeah, it feels a little softer, but it's still like an all court category. It's not like a pure control. No. But so I put it through the paces now. Did the spin test. It spins. I think it was 1970 something, which is up there with the rest of the raw carbon textures. So the spin is real. I played with it outside. I've put about 12 or so hours on it. Haven't had any durability issues. Like that was a question with durability. Haven't had anything that I left it outside in the like heat for like 3 hours. It was 100 degrees. Didn't have any bubbling. I peeled it off. There's no like residue. So like the durability seems legit. And then when you read their warranty, the warranty's solid. They have like a lifetime warranty on core crushing.
Okay.
So theoretically, you buy this paddle.
You don't buy another one.
You don't buy another one.
Nice.
It'll last for a long time. Anyways, full review coming out later this week.
Sweet.
But I just don't think that one's getting enough credit because I think that technology is like the biggest advancement in Paddletek in a while, and no one's like talking about it. I'm like, to me, this is like a big deal. I'm like, do you guys realize like,
like what just came out?
Your grit goes out in like 2-3 months, and is like totally smooth in 6, and you're spending $180 every time for a new paddle.
Yep.
And man, I think
now you can reload.
Now you can reload, and so I'm big on the tech. I think that's gonna like change things. Like thermoforming changed the market. I feel like this changed the market like thermoforming did. Like I'm of that mind. I don't know. Am I too big on it? What do you think?
No, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're allowed to talk about, but there's other stickers coming out, like other faces coming out.
Yeah, so, like the possibilities of what they could do with the stickers, whether it's quiet, whether it's power, I don't know, whatever they decide to do. Like there's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options that are coming.
It'll be fun to follow along and see what they do there. But yeah, new scans. I hope they come out with more shapes. We'll see if they license it or where, but I think it's brilliant. Okay. Spartus Olympus. Tell us about that.
New paddle, patented core. Can't talk too much about the core.
New core.
Yeah, new core. Patent pending, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's not a foam paddle. Power is, I would say, below. We should run the numbers when you get yours.
Yeah.
The power is definitely lower than like a YOLA, but it's still there.
It's still a power paddle,
and it's a 14 millimeter. But like mid court and like soft game, it feels like a 16.
So so it's got like the size of a sweet spot size of a 16 and a 14.
Definitely with this Pickleball effect tungsten tape.
So you're Championship Sunday, that'll get you there. If you think, okay, I want to ask you this question. Okay, you have you're a 60 millimeter guy. Haven't always liked 14s. If a 14 was as forgiving as a 16, do you think you'd like a 14 more?
Yeah, which I love this. That's why I like the Hurricane Pro. So when like a 14 has the forgiveness of a 16, I'm all about it. It's just like when a 14 is like.
So it's just the stability that keeps you away from 14s.
And some of the 14s I feel like are just have that stiffer impact feel too. Not all of them.
Yeah, but a lot of them do.
A lot of them do.
Vast majority.
So, and I feel like that was more of a, I feel like that's changed recently. Because I know like when 14 first became a thing, I hated them all. I was just like, I'm not playing a 14.
Yeah, they've come a ways.
So, but no, it's great. It's a great paddle. They're limited to only making, one worker can make 4 a day. So they're going to be bottlenecked in production for a bit. I think they're going to sell for $199, and I think they come out early next month.
Okay.
So
that's fascinating though. Yeah, because like there's a lot of advantages to 14s. Otherwise, like it cuts through the air easier. The added maneuverability's there. A little more pop, a little more offense at the net.
Yeah, the pop's great. Like that was the biggest thing I noticed was the pop. Like,
yeah, I think the two things that keep people away from 14s is like you said. I guess there's 3 things. There's the feel could be stiffer, but there's a lot more options now that are softer. So, and then sweet spot. So like if you can solve that, which sounds like this one does, and then like managing the pop, I think can be challenging for some.
This was like good pop, but it wasn't like, so the 14 millimeter Scorpius, I thought was too much pop for me.
Okay.
Like,
so this is just a little toned down from that.
With my counters, I was sending them too long. So this was toned down, but I still feel like it has a good acceleration.
This the Gen 2 Scorpius or?
I was talking Gen 3.
Gen 3 Scorpius.
Yeah. The Gen 3 Scorpius.
Okay.
The 14 I did not.
Yeah, it jumped off. Well, cool. Yeah, I got mine coming. We'll run the numbers soon. You got a PE grip on. This is the new tacky stuff. What do you think of it?
I do have a PE grip on. Good notice.
You used that in the tournament?
I did.
Wow. I didn't think I'd ever get you.
I liked it.
To use one of my PE grips in a tournament or something.
I know. I liked it. No, it's good. I like a tiny bit tackier, but
even than this,
it's comfortable though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say and it didn't like make my hand pink. So
yeah, it's definitely tackier than my other stuff. But yeah, you can get tackier still probably.
Yeah.
Are the U-Drippins tackier?
Yeah, the ones I use.
Those, and then like the Mega Tacs from Turner and Stanley Tacky. But no, I've been digging those too. Like it has like a little softer feel.
Yeah.
And a little
comfort-wise, it's definitely softer than my U-Dripping grips.
So it feels good that way. Yeah, like it's definitely tacky, but not like insane.
Yeah, not like sticky.
All right, there's and we didn't talk about the tech in that, but there's other paddles coming out with like a similar idea as those
Yeah.
that I'm pretty stoked about. Okay. Next paddle I want to talk about.
We'll talk about the core more when we're allowed to.
Yeah. All right. So this has been on our radar for a minute. So you and I tested this. This is the Revolin Raw Lava Flex
Pure hybrid.
Pure Hybrid. So it's using like lava rock, or I don't even know what the name of that rock is called. Like
Basalt
basalt. Yeah.
is what they use. Yeah.
It's using like a basalt face, I guess.
It's sweet. Lava.
So it's not carbon fiber or
Nope. Lava rock face, 3D printed handle.
so these guys kind of came onto the scene a couple of years ago with the idea of making like a more environmentally sustainable paddle. So they use processes and things to help reduce environmental impact, which I think is awesome. Wasn't crazy about how the original paddles played though.
Yeah, I heard the spin was bad on the.
Yeah, spin wasn't great. And so they came out with these. They sent them our way. We tested them one Friday or like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And they stood out to us. We're like, okay, we want to spend some more time with these. Hadn't been able to spend more time until this weekend. So I went and played for 3 hours on Saturday with this.
Nice.
And so what caught our attention originally was that it's very lightweight, but still has some power and pop to it, which is a combination you don't see too often. You see, you have like the Annalee that kind of fits and dominates that like lightweight and power space. So this, like, best way I can describe it is like a 16 millimeter Annalee. So like if I were to get a 16 millimeter version of Annalee's, it would still be super lightweight. It would have plenty of power and pop. It'd be toned down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what this is to me. The pop and power, particularly the pop, is like it's there. It's higher than you expect. Like it's a 104 swing weight, I think. Like it's super light. Yeah. This is the standard. They have an elongated one. I wasn't as big on the elongated as this.
I liked this one better.
I like this one more. And so like the sweet spot for a standard 16 is just a little bit tighter. I think with the less weight, it's gonna shrink the stability and sweet spot a little bit. And you feel that, but it's still a good sweet spot. And but the power and pop is there. If you're looking for a lightweight option with the punch in the 16 mil, that's just like a really rare combo.
Yep.
And like it made it play really well. Like I was really impressed with it. I think there's definitely a space for this paddle that a lot of people like. So if you're looking for something with those characteristics, I think this is a good option.
And it's made in America.
Made in America. All right, I had a note on these too. Selkirk Amped.
Like are these the OGs?
So this one is the OG.
Oh, so that's the OG. That's the new one.
This is the new one. So Selkirk sent me their new one. They launched this already.
They didn't send it to me.
Yeah, you're not missing out. They sent it to me. Like,
is this? All right, be honest. Before we get into the details, is this not the same paddle?
Other than the face, the grit is different.
Okay.
So they were like, go test the grit, see if it's spinnier. And so I did. I went and ran the numbers. I actually didn't have an original Amped with me. So I just went and bought one. And just,
so this was a new one then?
This is a brand new one because it needed to be brand new. Like I could have gotten a used one from like TFP or something, but it needed to be brand new.
You could have got a used one from 90% of the people that play pickleball in Boise.
Yeah. So I spent $150 for something probably nobody's really that interested in. But I'm going to tell you the results. So the new Amped, the spin was actually not bad. It was over 1900.
Okay.
It had an average of 1913. The original had 1720.
Okay.
So this one was as weak and bad as we remembered.
Yep.
The new grit does make a difference. I don't know if it's going to last. Like it's not a rock carbon, right? They advertise, of course, that it's going to last forever, but or at least last longer.
The price is insane.
It's like what? 150?
It's $150. Would you, in good conscience, recommend anybody pay $150 for this when you can get? After we just did our budget paddle, I won't even name a brand. After we just did our budget paddle battle, where that's like this should have been priced in there.
Yeah, I'd recommend the budget paddles over there.
Like that's just, it's. I mean, I always liked the look of those. But they were $150 when this was new tech. Like, because I remember this was my first good paddle, and it was a big deal. This was top of the line, $150.
It was the first 16 millimeter paddle.
Yeah, and $150 was like the top. Like that was expensive. So it's crazy to me that they didn't like go the other way and they're just like keep the same.
Yeah, yeah. Performance wise, yeah, I couldn't put this on top of those other budget paddles, but I know I mean, obviously the draw to Selkirk is you get the colors, you get the warranty,
multiple grip options.
you get the grip options. So like there are advantages that way, but like performance wise, yeah, I think I'd recommend.
You should let me borrow this because this is how I became a paddle rep, because I would break one of these every 2 to 3 months.
Would you?
Yep, crack them.
There you go.
I used to.
Cheers.
I used to crack. Thank you.
Go put it through the paces.
I used to crack them right here every 2 to 3 months. They'd replace them, but I just kept cracking.
You're gonna play with it for 2 to 3 months?
It won't take that long anymore. I hit harder than that.
We'll find out.
So,
yeah, so the spin is better. They advertise that it lasts longer than what it was, and so if you are a big fan of this paddle, it's worth getting the new one.
All right.
I think that wraps us up for Paddle Babble. Did you have anything else?
I did not. We'll talk a little bit more about the 50th episode giveaway. We should reach out to some people, see if we can make it a little cooler. But I do like that idea.
Okay,
I'm sure we could do
starting point.
I'll give you a starting point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the 50 paddles was a wild idea. I can give you 50 used paddles.
All right. Well, that's the starting part. We'll see how we can juice it up. Maybe we can get like some gift cards or something for some brands.
That'd be cool.
Reach out to some people, see if they're willing to contribute there.
Pickleball Central, give us a gift card.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be cool. And the last thing we'll talk about is balance point. So for the last 10 minutes here, I just want to talk about what balance point is, how it affects play, because there's been some chatter and stuff about this recently. So you and I were reached out to from Justin. Mm-hmm. He sent us his
maneuverability formula.
Yeah. So he's one of the co-hosts on the Pickleball Pursuit podcast. Really smart dude.
He's the host.
Oh, he's the host?
No, he's the ghost.
And anyways, he's a great listen. Him and Lewis do a great job with their podcast. So he came up with a maneuverability score that takes like a weighted percentage of balance point, static weight, swing weight, and then gives you like a number between 1 and 100 of like, okay, this is the general maneuverability of the paddle. And then John Q announced his new metrics that him and Graffiti made. So they introduced 3 numbers. He calls it his hand speed index. So essentially he has a number assigned to...
It was like whip weight?
No, that was something else.
Okay.
No, the hand speed index has 3 numbers, which is essentially how like heavy a paddle or how hard it is, how much effort it requires to do like a full swing from the baseline.
Okay.
Move it from like side to side, for like when you're going like 180 forehand to backhand.
Okay.
And then like shorter movement,
like flick,
like a flick. So they identified these like 3 movements and created like a formula for each of those. Like how much effort and power does it take to generate it? So if you go to graffiti.com, they have a calculator in there. You can dump like your static weight, if you know your swing weight and balance point, then it'll kick out these numbers for you. So it's actually kind of fun to go in there and manipulate and see, okay, if I add weight, static weight, if I bring down the balance point, what number, how does it change the numbers?
And that's live already?
That's live.
I'm gonna go play with that.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. They did a really good job with it. And I like that they identified that there are 3 separate kind of movements where maneuverability isn't the same. Like if you have a swing weight of say 110, that doesn't describe exactly how easy it is to flick or move from this position to this position. However, I do think they're all still very related. They're not completely independent, but it makes sense to me that they split it out into 3. And I think that's cool. But from just like a consumer like digestibility factor, like I like Justin's just kind of one number general maneuverability score across the board, rather than saying, okay, this is really heavy here, really easy here. But if you want to get into the weeds and really get deep,
like if you wanted, like if you're really good at rolls and flicks and stuff, and like you can pick something that's really good,
I want that specific number to be low or high, so which is cool. And anyways, really, I think it's great what John and they made together. But I just want to just kind of clarify, okay, what are the things going into this? How should you read? Like how they come up with this? So essentially, you have swing weight, static weight, and balance point. We all know what swing weight is at this point. It's just how heavy a paddle feels when you're using your shoulder.
Yep.
Like big swings, right? And then we all know what static weight is, but the one that's been kind of in limbo is balance point. And so balance point is like where, the paddle will just kind of balance on your finger. Whether it tips forward or backwards, like it can be higher or lower, right? So with the introduction of Sly speed caps, everyone's like, "Oh man, this feels good," but like, do they know why it feels good? So
you're lowering the balance.
Because you're lowering the balance point. So when you lower the balance point by adding weight here, you're not changing the swing weight, so you're still getting that power and plow through from the back. But what it makes easier is like it makes these flicks a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
So you can have a high swing weight, say 120, but if you lower the balance point, all of a sudden this gets easier. So previously, if you had a high 20 swing weight, that did translate to flicks. It was still harder to flick because the balance point was higher. Like in order to have a higher swing weight, you had to have a higher balance point. That's just how paddles are made. But now people are like, "Oh, I can manipulate this."
You just described my Shogun. I was to say,
yeah, it's heavy.
A higher swing weight. I put the slice on, and all of a sudden, I love it.
Now all of a sudden, you can flick it.
Yep.
And so that's what balance point is, and that's what balance point changes. It changes your ability to flick the paddle. And like with the gearbox, same thing, man. Like it's a really high swing weight. I had it up to 130, but I was still flicking and was able to get, accelerate through the ball. And my backhands, putaways and flicks from below the net. And so I wonder, that's something I think people should be paying attention to. You can look at balance point now, and I hope brands will start to.
Some of them list it.
Well, not just list balance point, but start to manipulate it.
Ooh,
I think. Like if I'm going to go make a paddle right now and I'm making an elongated shape, I'm going to intentionally just put more weight in the handle stock.
Yeah. No, I on the drive over here, I was telling somebody that I bet brands will incorporate an option for a 5 ounce or 0.5 ounce and a 1 ounce butt cap very quickly.
Yeah.
That's how fast.
That's great. Either have the butt caps available. So Reload is doing a thing with Slice.
Cool.
Which I think is great. Like they're doing like a licensing deal. I think they have like Reload Slice butt caps that they can sell. You can buy with the paddle. I bet we see that all over the place.
Yeah, I think so. And I bet like Selkirk, when you can already, because they're already customizing all this stuff, I could see them throwing a butt cap weight option.
I wonder if they have that patented if Slice does.
I'll ask him as soon as we get off this podcast. Like, you better patent that thing quick.
Yeah. Anyway, Slice butt caps, adding weight to the handle is a real deal. If you haven't messed with it yet, like it's pretty fun. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Particularly on elongated and hybrid shapes. Standards, the balance point's already so low. Like there's definitely a point where like
diminishing
return. And for me, I like kind of the 0.3 to 0.5 ounces in the butt cap is what I found like makes enough of a difference, but doesn't get crazy heavy.
1 ounce, baby.
You're a 1 ouncer. But there's definitely diminishing returns, and you still have to manipulate weight up here a little bit because by adding the balance, if you get it too low, it can feel kind of awkward. Yep. So you have to find a spot that feels right for you, but it does make a difference, and it can make heavier, where you kind of get the best of both worlds a little bit. Like you get the plow through and the power, but then you still get some of that better maneuverability that you get with flicks. But just adding that static weight, having more weight in general, is going to make it just a little bit harder to swing from the baseline. It's going to make this side, like the forehand to backhand, a little slower. So there are like repercussions. There are some give and take, and like there's
always a little bit of sacrifice.
Yeah. But for me, like I'm sold on the weighted butt caps, dude. I think the Slice speed caps are sweet, and it makes a sense.
These guys think it's sweet too. Trust me.
That's great. Anyways, that's my spiel with those. Anything else you got?
No, I think that wraps it up.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Right, thanks.